It's Cork Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Net, here on YouTube, presented by Jock MKT, my favorite daily fantasy app. Download that bad boy for free. Use the promo code MMN for Mayo Media Net. They're going to match that first $100 for free. If it's free, it's for me. We have done very well throwing our weight around the Jock market, particularly as we've picked up on them splitting the slates. We just had to drop the cost per player. No matter what the models say, it's about the cost. That's the nuance and the context that you get here at Mayo Media Net. Rate, review, and subscribe to the audio-only pod. I'm not asking you for a like until I deserve it. How do you like that apple? It's your host, the big dude with the big mouth from the Big Apple, Big Johnny Stud, coming to you worldwide from Brooklyn, New York, as always. I'm coming out the chair, as always, although I'm being honest, as always. This Thursday show is actually being brought to you on Wednesday night. Though, come on, it did your style. It changed my shirt, right? You know what I'm saying? It's something. It ain't nothing. But I have some really cool family plans every single year. I take the wife and kiddies. We do the New Jersey State Fair. So if you're up near the, horse show, holla at your boy. I'll be around there getting into trouble with my family. We are a lot of fun. But again, I always talk about that stuff, how, yes, I trade and bet and, get into risk ventures professionally is what I do. Doing that for a long period of time will kind of drive you nuts. If you haven't noticed, obviously, it can wear on you. So you got to be able to balance it out. For me, it's family and fulfillment, but I really don't like when people shove anything down people's throats. That's just my center. It could be for you. It could be being alone. Because trust me, if you're into quiet, family ain't for you, especially mine. I would have it any other way, but it ain't quiet. That's a fact. All right, let's get into it. The 3 pillars of profit here at Mayo Media Net. Should be pretty good. I had to put this one together a little bit on the fly. Not all the pricing is out for the next day. I was just worried, I got the Maloik. Someone is going to get hurt, and I'm going to look like an idiot. So I figured I would just come out and let you know the deal. But, I didn't really hold back at all. I'm very excited for the waiver part of the fantasy show. It's done very, very, very well. And I'm seeing that in the DMs. People are starting to pick up on how you find these in-season gems. You use them, and then if you have to, you discard them. We'll bring up a couple of those names in a little bit. All right, let's get into the first pillar of profit. We're doing daily DFS, Jock MKT, the overlay into total base props, and we'll probably drop a lesson or two tomorrow. I didn't chintz out on you because of my own schedule. It's the MLB schedule. It's a very short slate, and I've been trying like heck to not put too much work into the nighttime stuff. I know we have people that watch the show later on, or they're coming home from work. I really do appreciate people that make this show a part of their daily routine. But it means a lot to me that it's also actionable. I like to think we leave lessons regardless, but I want you to play, right? That's kind of the point. So I've been trying to focus on the 7 p.m. I think there's only 2 7 p.m. games. We didn't have to force it, though. I did get model hits. I will not be around for the early stuff, so sorry. No tools, no goodies tomorrow. I know, what are we going to do? All right, let's get into it, everybody. It's that red laundry from somewhere in New England. I've got Boston. Why am I so confused? Oh, because I put them out of order, which is fine. Boston's going up against Austin. Voth, yes, you may remember him from my Twitter timeline as a player that I was pumping pretty hard. And, he had a pretty good go at it, the first cup of coffee. We're hoping to maybe build on it, although when it was with Washington, we have seen Washington has not done well with developing young pitchers. We're looking at Josiah Gray and Adon and guys like that. Well, I think Gray was okay today. Just they're not maximizing these guys. They have some young arms. They have gotten squadouche if you're starting, Annabelle Sanchez. The proof is in the pudding. I don't have to make too much of an argument for the strength of your own rotation. Let's get into Austin. Voth, 5.53 ERA, 1.57 whip, 8.05 OPS. Yeah, the stuff we kind of go after. I don't really like to chase ERA as much as OPS, but as long as it's over 805, and then 800, I should say, and then we'll get into it. The CSW, that's called strikes plus whiffs, down to 25%. That's just really too low for a starter. The chase rate down below 29%. So it's really just a bad combination. He's not getting called strikes because he's not fooling anybody, and he's not getting chases because he's not fooling anybody. So what ends up happening, you have to challenge into the zone. You see the elevated line drive rate, something that we know this season in particular with the ball and the humidors matters like a ton. Though we have seen the ball start to giddy up a bit, it's been about the line drives, make no mistake. The higher a ball is being hit, the more hang time that it has, let's say, it is being affected. Make no mistake. We've had some correction, but it's not quite the same, which is also why we use blasts instead of barrels here. And if you're wondering why, because we've seen a distinct degradation of production on barrels. You could see it like with your eye, only 2 eyes. If you follow any of the barrel accounts on social media, on Twitter, I love to stay up on the barrel stuff, especially for playing player props. We want to know if we got the barrel and just not the result. Where they always were base hit, double, triple, home run, home run, home run. They're outs. There's so many outs right now. I've kind of tightened the parameters, so a blast is the ideal subset of barrels. If it's too complicated for you, where I come from, it's the Cadillac of barrels. So that's the best way to think of it. We're using blast rate around here. Again, the nuance and the context that you get at court stats. So the home run per 9 is a little bit low, so you figure, right, that has something to do with the line drive rate down at 1.3. However, the contact metrics are through the roof. Like I said, 413 expected wOBA on contact, right? So that's a purely isolated metric just when contact is made. Anything over 400 is major trouble because there's a location issue. You can't luck your way into that, or bad luck your way in, or good luck your way in, or whatever it is. And it's the realness. 301 batting average against year to date, obviously major problem. Let's dive into the fastball again. Arsenal dissection, I really feel, is the next tip of the spear when we're talking about handicapping and MLB analysis. So let's look at the fastball right off the bat. 94 miles an hour is actually not terrible. I was a bit surprised, but it's not terrible. But we all know velo alone does not a good fastball make. 44% use. See, that's a major problem with a 477 expected slug on the way out. So you can see where a guy like Voth can get into trouble. Anybody pushing a fastball 40+% of the time can easily get into trouble because hitters can now just basically wait. We're talking about almost a half split, and especially if you're taking one and he's probably not throwing it on the first pitch, looking to get lined up. So you could see why that could work against him. Now, he has been pretty good the last 5 games. If you check out the pitcher sheet that I do, I like to do all kinds of splits and never kind of misframe arguments. That's the worst, right? People just pick the stat that works for them. No, we want to explain exactly what's going on. The thing is, we're not always going to buy it, right? So the last 5 times out, yes, he was excellent, right? He was really good. I really started thinking about whether or not Austin Voth was going to be good again. But the competition was just so bad. Pittsburgh twice, LA, Tampa, Texas. It was all just trash. When Texas is the best offense by far, I mean, they're Seager and there's really not much there. So maybe I'm exaggerating on the Rangers a bit, but they're really not a very good offense. So I think Voth kind of gets the regression game maybe that we were looking for. He's been in a lot of trouble. Give me Devers, last 60 days, 113 plate appearances against righties, a 21% barrel rate, 14% blast, right? So anything over double-digit blast rate is awesome. It's exactly what you want to be looking for. We use our own triple slash here, laid out for the new users. Generally, it'd be average OBP and slug, but that doesn't help us because we're degenerate gamblers. So we're going to use BA, ISO, OPS. ISO in the middle really matters if you're into total base props. ISO is an extra base hit rate, for those of you new. All right, so let's take a look at the triple slash. 284, 379, 1061. Just a bit of the math and the application that you get here. The reason you look at that, well, I think about the ISO there for Devers, 379, right? So that's a 38% extra base hit rate in that span. A worst case scenario, we're looking at 3 plate appearances, just by the rules, we're getting up there 3 times. With any kind of scoring or anything like that, we're hoping for an extra one. Shouldn't need it if the price then lines up, because he'll be in the top of the lineup. That's kind of how I come to these things. Anybody could break down a game and tell you who to play and who not to, but I like to think that we leave people just a little bit sharper here every go out, right? You want to be pushing it, because in fact, I've had people from the outside, they're pushing back on me and we're getting better. I don't care. I don't know everything, nor do I pretend to. All right, come on. Let's do this thing. So Rafi Devers is just killing right-handed pitching. I should have finished it up with the 444 expected wOBA and 10 Shamalama ding-dongs. They give me Tommy Pham killing righty since he showed up to Boston. Guy like him, listen, we're not here to talk smack, but he is an emotional type of guy. He's got a baller kind of dog attitude. He's got the dog in him. He's going to Boston. they are playing for stuff. Yes, we know the bottom feels like it's falling out, and maybe partly it is, but it's because of the pitching. He could be part of a very good offense. Those 25 plate appearances, 92% hard hit rate. How do you like that? That would be good for a contact rate. Forget 92 hard hit. Loves hitting there. I'm telling you, he's going to be very good rest of the way. It just happens. Really a perfect fit, I think, Pham, in that offense. 25% barrel, 261, 348, 929. Triple slash with 4 extra base hits in that 25 plate appearance span. So we also know Pham is kind of a high spike player. I oftentimes talk about production players and teams working in sine waves. It's really, to me, like once I hit on that, the moving averages thing, oh, well, he said it, he said it. you kind of understand the whole thing a bit more, that when people say you can't chase recency. No, you can't. You have to look at the whole picture. Yes, you do. But you can't overreact to it. No, you can't. And weighing moving averages is really kind of answers all that stuff to me. When you track players in terms, you use pattern analysis, and you'd be surprised how good stock indicators are. I mean, I didn't invent these things. We've been using them, and there's like literally quadrillions of dollars being bet and placed on these indicators alone. So I thought it was intuitive to try it in baseball. It kind of works, and now like here we are, at the tip of the spear, and I'm on to the national TV spot. Hachi Machi Liberace. Last up, we want Alex Verdugo. Last 40 plate appearances against righties. There's that 90% contact rate again. Something very important if you're doing the single parlays I've been doing. I love that's really, man, this show's just getting so good. Understand how we come to these conclusions, and this is what I mean. Verdugo, 389 batting average. That plays for all formats. 389 is dope. You don't need me to tell you that. 139 ISO, 949 OPS. So see if you're just chasing OPS, 949 OPS. This is like a ring. You got to go get this guy. You got to get him in. The ISO kind of says it all right? The batting average is nice and high, but he's walking and not getting extra base hits, and that's not going to do it if you're in the betting market, right? Betting market's very unforgiving. Walks do not count for total bases, and they obviously don't count for this over a single. So keep that stuff in mind. Breaking it down by this triple slash has been infinitely helpful for me to, even beyond me, I know people play much wider tickets than I do. So that's what I like to show them, because I'll give you the stack attack, but I'm not putting everybody on this ticket. But you will understand, if you follow this stuff closely, how to play this correctly. And I think that was the bit of goodness that I was looking for before I asked for that like button. Come on, man. If that didn't do it for you, like, what does? Is there a better betting show? Yeah, okay, sure. Please tag me with it, and I'd love to see somebody doing it quite like we are at Mayo Media Net. Yeah, right. As if my daughter says that now. I know she's getting old, 6'6". As if, Dad. All right, let's get into the second stack. Kind of fun today. I get to joke around a touch more than usual because we have so few stacks. And the betting card is really light because I don't have my eye on any of the pricing, and it's getting very tight. We are at the point where betting is very tight, and if you've noticed, they've pulled F5 money lines. They don't even put them up, so we kind of broke it. Now we are zigging, they're zagging, and it kind of stinks because I have been bashing the F5 money line market for years, like I've been limited and thrown out, and all of the stuff that lets you know they're doing very well, and then they beg you to come back and play because they want the money business. All right, let's get into the Reds. I know very hard to back the Reds because all the players that kind of ring on the Reds model are no longer on the Reds. We used to love Brandon Drury in these spots. Oh yes, y'all, but he is not a Red anymore. I was kind of sad. He's really good. We were on him. He was one of the very first ads this season. If somebody ever went back to put a collabo, man, I'll pay for it. Well, we got some monster hits, monster hits. But my fantasy team started out so trashy. Now they're all really good because they're paying attention. All right, let's get into it. It's the Red Legs going up against Drew Guy Smiley. 3.97 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 7.74 OPS. Really, none of the attack metrics that we generally go after. However, but the big shaken butt. Way too many fly balls from Smiley. Bit out of character. 41% fly ball and a nearly 10% barrel rate is giving us nearly 2 home runs per 9. Those are the things we're looking for. And then again, if you just get it down to isolated contact, expected wOBA on contact at 391. Major issue. Smiley used to be like a pitch to soft contact guy. That's not been the case. The ERA is going to move, in my opinion. It is really 2 pitches generally that hitters are seeing. He's throwing the sinker 31% of the time to a 475 X-log. He's throwing the cutter 26% of the time to a 576 X-log. Putting together, and what do you got? A bibbity-bobbity-boo. But really, the math says it's 57% use of more than 500 X-Lug out. That explains the 8 total home runs on those 2 pitches. Remember, he's off the IL, has a 6+ ERA let me restart. He came off the IL and was getting cracked up. He had a +6 ERA through 5 games off the IL. He then threw a gem. He went 6 2/3, gave up none, which is now making that post-IL ERA kind of look soft. But it was against just the worst version of Miami. And when they're not even playing their bad starters, it's awful. Don't know how much we want to count it. He'll have to show it to us again. Call me Missouri. Righties, year-to-date, .285 batting average, have hit 9 of the 11 home runs. So give me Kyle, Korn, Farmer versus lefties, year-to-date, 115 plate appearances. That ain't nothing. 81% contact, 8.5 barrel, not crazy, but check it out, triple slash, very thick, 316, 245, 961. That's really where I like to draw the line. If you're ever going to be playing total base props, at least me, 25% for ISO is where you should start if you're looking for over 1.5 total bases, and it should make sense. 25%, assume 4 plate appearances. I think it's fair. We're in an environment, love hitting. This one is in Cincinnati. I believe this one is in Cincinnati, so all the offense gets all the boosts. It's crazy. It's really cores. I'm surprised the market hasn't quite caught up to it. They're all constantly going over team totals, even with this really poor offense. I was going to say a bad word. Okay, so Farmer with the fixed triple slash and a 390 X WOBA against lefties year to date, 9 doubles, 5 home runs. Like, he's working lefties. Don't be afraid to back up Farmer. Forget the name brand there. And Nick Senzel, he's got the name brand. Has not been great. Let's check it out, though. Last 60 days, 50 plate appearances against lefties, 303 average, 140 ISO, 804 OPS. So the average is there. I'd play him in formats where he might be, he's going to be cheap in daily and stuff like that. And he might be cheap in Jock Market, too. So you could see how, again, I could name the piece that you want on the board, but it's really more about where to put it, because there are model hits here that I love, but only for certain things. Like, I'll rock Senzel maybe in a base hit prop. You're not going to get me to go for a total base prop. Again, they're favored and they're at home. These are parts of it too. Favored and at home is a bad recipe to miss the 9th frame. I understand we all want to hit our total base props in the first inning. Yes, I like that also. Those are good bets, right? Those are fun nights. However, it's very difficult to land on that. And you really got to put yourself in the strongest probabilistic scenario to get the job done. And I don't think, that's the way to do it, is to shorten the plate appearances, which are, again, we're talking about a single player. Is there an argument to be made that anything is more important than a plate appearance? I think not. Yesterday, we needed a single from Alonso. Here, let me take one more L before we get out of here, because, again, we're just doing the entire gamut of formats here. Needed a single from Alonso, but think about that. Why would you play for a single from Alonso? If he makes the contact, it's a double or a home run. That was kind of silly of me. I kind of let the model, trick me, and he didn't get it. He roped one. It was caught. But again, if it wasn't, it would have been a double. So it was really it was just stupid of me. If you're going to play those kind of guys, hat tip, Male Body told me the same thing. He's 100% right. Dude, I'm not better or worse than nobody. We're just all a little different. So, that was the first pillar of profit. I hope you enjoyed it. Please press the like button. I had a little trouble with my letters there. I'm not feeling good. Allergies kicking my tail. My ears are clogged. Forget it, as if I needed to yell any louder. All right, let's get into the second pillar of profit. It is the very useful Waiver Show, brought to you by Jock Market and Mayo Media Net. Of course, audio-only listeners. I'll walk you through it. Let's just set the parameters. These are all guys that are playing baseball every day, right? So I try and go out of my way to make sure that that's a given. Hopefully they've produced a bit, but at least they've had opportunities, and we're looking for the front of the lineup. That's something that I really do make sure is part of it. That's more important than anything. Got to be careful when you're looking for recent production. You'll find out a guy is not playing, and it's what's the point? We got to get up, and we got to get production. Really, really important as I kind of make my own strides trying to be a representative NFBC player. I was a high-stakes point player. I think I'm damn good at it. doesn't translate. I didn't really know how to handle steals and handle average properly. Now I'm getting a little bit better at it. A lot of it has to do with in-season work. Even like seriously, you're really constantly working. And I think running through the advanced leaderboards on Tuesday and Wednesday and then putting it together and giving you the waiver ads has been super helpful. So for the video people, grab a screenshot. I will post the actual image on Twitter so you can just go download it at MLB Moving AVG on the Bird app, yo. And just, hit me up, man. I'm here for you. This is what we do. Me and you. The Cork Stats crew. All right, let's start behind the dish. Sean Murphy has played his way into total viability because Oakland's so bad. He's going to hit like second or third every day, and he's got pop. So people are looking for that positive regression. They got it to MJ Melendez in Kansas City, and then I can't believe that we're recommending Martin Maldonado, but I play in these leagues. And I'm looking at it as if I needed to add a hitter in a deep 15-team hard league, NFBC style. So again, nobody really wants Martin Maldonado, but that's not what this is. If you're in a shallow league, you want Murphy. If you're in a somewhat less shallow league, you want Melendez. And if you're in a death, 15-team league of death with two catchers, then you start guys like Martin Maldonado. But also, hat tip to us, we've done very well picking up catchers. We're doing the work, every single week. I have to put the stuff out. So just having an eye on it has really got it done. We've done very well. Nick Fortes beyond the play. I never heard of Nick Fortes, catcher from Miami. 4 home runs and 4 steals from the catcher. Okay. That's been a lot of it. Catching saves at the right time. All right, let's continue. First base, Jose Miranda. Extremely proud of that play because, again, if you're following along, guys, we have a ton of hits. A ton of hits. Players that started at the bottom rung and are now at the top, Jose Miranda being one. We were banging the drum to add him in 15-team leagues. The second he was discarded, I thought that was premature and an overreaction, cutting a player of his caliber beforehand. After they telegraphed he'd be getting opportunities, I made the mistake and dropped him in one place when he stopped playing because of injuries. But I picked him right back up. Like, I always keep my eye on guys like that. So Miranda is now an all-format kind of guy, followed by Derek Hall and G-Man Choi. If you need Choi, it's kind of desperate, but he plays against righties all the time. Again, thick of the lineup in Tampa Bay, as bad of a lineup as it is. Over to second, Massey, the rookie for Kansas City. I'm not sure what we're going to get, but you got to add him just because of the potential. And if I don't put him up at the top, you won't get him. Next up is Aledmys Diaz climbing his way from the bottom slot up into the middle. He's still available. Hit a grand slam the other day. He's in fifth for the Astros. It really is funny. People allow narratives to interfere with successful play, or are not really paying close enough attention to the lineup machinations. And if anyone is curious, I use the Fangraphs tool when I'm in a rush. You go to fangraphs.com, right at the top it has a roster resource tab, and right below that it has the 2022 lineup tracker, and it's like a block of 25 days, 30 days. I mean, it's color-coded. It's amazing. You just go team by team, and you see immediately, wow, this guy starts every day versus lefties. This guy bats first against lefties, but sixth it has lineup order as well, and the days they missed. And you could see if somebody played because someone else was injured. Those have IL blocks. It is the best. It really has helped me up my game. So Diaz has been awesome. Keep going, Aledmys. And then Donovan Solano. Anybody who's going to be hitting Cincinnati and bet fifth for the Reds. Again, that's how you get on these lists. Over to shortstop, Luis Rengifo, another guy. He was at the bottom of the shortstop list. He's on all my teams. Hit a home run yesterday. He's hitting home runs now. He's good. He had a ton of prospect shine. They talked about the opportunity. We swung and missed on the other Velasquez. I believe is it Andrew Velasquez, the shortstop Velasquez on the Angels. We were on and he looked okay. We're getting some average, a couple steals. Things fell apart. You get out. You pull the cord. Remember, sine waves. I'm trying to predict the future and or even obsess over the past, I guess, is the pairing for that. I have always been a 3/4 trader, a 6/8 trader, I used to think of myself as, meaning I don't play for the very bottom eighth and I don't play for the very top eighth. I don't try to catch the very tippy top and the very bitty bottom, whatever you call that thing. I play for the chunk in the middle. When things start going wrong, you get out. When things start going up, you get in, and you're looking for the trend indication. To me, that's how you get it, as the adage goes, right? Head where the puck is going, not where it's been. Over to third base, Alec Baum played his way into every day, every format, relativity. I wasn't on him, let him get past me, and it happened. He looks awesome right now. Again, all the shine around the smart hitters. To Miguel Vargas for the Dodgers. I think he might have even got sent down. Maybe I kind of screwed this one up. This one should have. I'd be more into pushing up Montero on the Rockies anyway. Sorry about the bump on Vargas. I think I just heard that today. I was on a podcast with Joe. Check it out. Check out my Twitter handle. I did a really awesome long-form pod. We took about all types of really cool stuff that I don't get to do out of the time here. So let's get up into the outfield. Again, repeats from last week. Haniger and Kelnick. They're still out there in certain leagues. Add them. Just because. Haniger especially. Kelnick is a pop, more of a deep league thing. You're on a prayer, especially keeper, dynasty, anything like that. Haniger is like a right now. He hit a bomb right out the box. I loved Haniger. Expected a ton from him. Didn't get it. Randall Grichuk finally cracked the code of playing in Colorado. He's playing all the time, and he's looking good. You got to get with him. It's amazing the guys that play in Colorado sometimes find their way into waiver wires, but injuries come for us all. To Lars Nootbaar for the Cardinals. He's playing every day. They love him. He's really tweaked some skills. Eno was talking about him. I don't trust anyone. I verify. I went to look, and it's looking good under the hood. So Nootbaar looks legit. For the Cardinals, Tyrone Taylor back playing every day for the Brewers. Jake McCarthy, my guy in Arizona, stealing bases, hitting for average. You could do worse. He's hitting in the middle of the lineup every single day. He just kind of has no one seems to like him. He just seems to be too boring for some. To Christian Arroyo, he's been playing second and third for Boston, but he's also outfield eligible. So I really like those kind of players in particular. NFBC, we have midweek replacements. Guy fills in all over the place, or gives you the ability to just move a bunch of pieces. I really love that. He's been hitting. Again, that lineup is good. And then Gavin Sheets is back for the White Sox. The playing time has been a bit spotty, but I think he's freshly back. So he is a guy that we know could get at least into heavy split time. You've got to keep an eye on that. There are going to be spots where Gavin Sheets could be totally viable. Let's get on the bump. Man, this is funny. There is no format for pitching right now. 10 is 12 is 15. All right, maybe not 10 is 15, but they're all very similar, and it's very hard to tell what kind of league you're looking at. So Edward Cabrera for Miami, Braxton Garrett for Miami as well. Ranger Suarez, Philadelphia, made some changes. He looks really good as of late. Same for Chris Bubich on Kansas City. Those Kansas City guys are easy to acquire. People have just had enough of them, but they're young. Kansas City is Kansas City is another team that's really struggled developing young pitchers. Doesn't mean it's not ever going to happen. They just haven't had it happen yet. Then Matt Manning is back from injury, and he looked really crisp. A lot of shine there. If you're getting healthy innings, the ballpark's a good spot to pitch. Could be worse. I mean, that's really what we're at. That's the point we're at right now. And then if you're looking for closers, I think it's Jonathan Hernandez on Texas, probably scooped up. Danny Jimenez on Oakland that is not. I've been beating the drum for him for a while because I think that's how you pick up saves in really tough leagues. Although I was really lucky. Again, I've been taking advantage of the lack of demand because I'm paying attention, making sure that I, throwing darts, and I got Ian Kennedy in spots. So again, back to if you're working all the time, fantasy baseball will come to you a bit. Other teams make all the same mistakes, right? The same things that happen to you that upset you if you fall behind is what happened to other teams as you're doing good. Now they're stuck with decisions. Man, this guy had a great first half. Do I keep rolling him out there? He's killing me. What do you do with Tommy Edman? You starting Tommy Edman? He's 100% started. You started this guy. He's actively destroying your team right now because he was so damn good. I'm not denying that. It's not because I was knocking him and I took the under on everything. Get ready to pay the under on the home run totals. Like I said, he's not that kind of hit. He's just not that kind of hitter. He will run into sick laser beam home run line drives against very bad pitching. All those home runs were against guys that will not be in the major leagues next year. I think that quite literally, might not be a single pitcher who gave up a home run to Tommy Edman in the league next year. Jose Urena is on that list. I mean, it's just really it's the worst pitchers ever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people love Edman. It's irrational to love for him because I don't know. All right, let's get into the third pillar profits. We get out of here. Just got a couple minutes. Though I did some of the analysis on the bottom. Let's skip to the bottom. I got a home run prop for you. Remember, I never go beyond a tenth of a unit. I'm going to be out, so I won't be doing a full kind of shebang. So I'm into that. Let's get a long one. I love Devers. We laid it out. I think he gets it done. Really like Boston. I was also looking at some of the numbers if you're looking to expand. I had a couple rings for Baltimore as well. I just couldn't dive in all the way. So obviously what usually happens if we get ring and ring on two sides, we're looking for the over. That game's already at 10. So I don't really do that. I don't really look for 11, and maybe that's my own flaw. It's part of something that I've just kind of been ingrained with. I generally don't do that. I like to go over 8, an 8.5. And then again, that's what my game's at 0-0, I guess, or 1-0, I guess. Right, imagine, we beat a game at 0-0. Anyway, come on. So, Devers, I plugged in 370. I didn't just throw it at the wall. I looked. I kind of averaged out a bunch of it. It was 370 today and a couple days ago. If not, it might be a little bit higher. So, don't yell at me. And the reason I preface that this is not the usual timing, because, like, imagine if something happened to Devers, I'm putting this video out. It's in there. Oh, Mike, what do you mean? Didn't you see what happened? And it's like, I'm generally up before the crack of dawn to do this show today. The exception again, getting my county shit, my state fair on, to get my blue ribbon horse show on, yo. All right, and then give me the White Sox. This one feels like a misprice. This one also made me feel like, man, maybe I need to start looking at lines the night before, because I feel like this sometimes when we speak in the morning, and again, I'm up really, really early to start this, and I go, wow, that looks like a misprice. I wonder if they've moved since then. I got to start. No, I look so much. Even I have blind spots. I pretty much need staff at this point. It's hard for me to do everything I want to do. But the White Sox and Dylan Cease are facing Zach Greinke and the Kansas City Royals. And the run line is at minus 110. So it's a cover up 1.5, which I forgot to put on the graphic, but I did put RL. So remember, full game RL means 1.5 run cover at minus 110. Dylan Cease, very, very, very good. Zach Greinke, not very, very good. I mean, 1.98 ERA, 1.16 whip, but the expected ERA, the xFIP, the FIP, all below 3 for Cease, 33% K, the walk a touch high, but 16% swing to strike it, any kind of jam, 36% O swing, like well above average, 78% in zone contact right now. He could beat you anywhere that he wants, 6% barrel, less than 3/4, 2/3 of a home run per 9, a 543 OPS allowed to righties on the year. Zach Greinke, yes, he works his magic and kind of fools people here and there, but he's actually getting hit pretty hard, right? Yes, he's not walking guys. That's always at the center of his success, but the contact rate is very high at 88, but now the hard hit rates are high too, 42% hard hit rate. Lefties especially have done pretty well against him. He's a lot of 372 ex-WOBA, 408 expected WOBA on contact. White Sox offense has not been great as a team. However, we do have a couple guys getting up off the mat. I was just looking at some recency stuff. There was like a couple guys just rang last 2 weeks. So let's say last 24 plate appearances. We've got Eloy, Harrison, Abreu, and Sheets all at a 900 OPS or better, all at a 240 ISO or better, right? Those are the things that we're looking for, 140 WRC plus or better. I just think they run away with this. This, again, will probably close at like minus 140, minus 150. Remember, the plays that we take that are even somewhat like delectable kind of favorites, those prices are going to soar. I don't want to say I don't care about the outcomes. Like, I'm not hiding. No one has talked about losing more than I have this season. I have my worst season ever. It's the first time I've ever lost, although there's a little bit of time left. But it's the first time I've ever lost. I've never done this well against CLV. It's just like an automatic thing. Maybe as I get more popular, we're actually moving the market a touch. We'll have to find out if I ever go dark. Remember, we're down to our last 15 episodes of Cork Stats. Thank you for tuning in the entire time, and supporting us. So get behind those White Sox to cover up the run line, and make sure that you bet on Rafael Devers, because he's going to hit a shamalama ding-dong, baby. Thank you for picking up what we're putting down. I got to get on out of here. I'm going to have myself some fun. I hope you do the same. Please download the Jock Market app. We are very excited. We are bringing you a football show, and it's because of you, the Cork Stats crew, for supporting me, the big man. I really do appreciate it. I try and express that every day with my work. And again, I'm a regular, well, I'm not a regular, but I'm a person that gets sick, that has issues. I have a family, I have a young family, and they have issues, and they get sick, and all types of things. And I really try to never, ever, ever, ever let it get in the way of this thing of ours, this thing that we have, this thing that we share. You spend your time with me, like your time on earth, you spend with me. So I really make sure that I spend it making it worthwhile. Boom. Rate, review, and subscribe to the audio-only pod. Please put your cartoon fingers inside of us at the Mayo Media Net, particularly me. I don't know if I should be speaking for anybody else. Baby, come on, man. We are just crazy. There's not another show like this. There's not another community building around the show like this. Enjoy your games tomorrow. Enjoy your day when we're done with the book. Enjoy that pay. Man, remember, when you work this hard, it feels a lot less like luck, don't it? Damn right, yo. Peace.